And first of all, thank you very much for inviting us to your conference and to give us the possibility to speak virtually and make a presentation on behalf of the German Bundesrat. Thank you very much for this. And I've been in contact to Luis for quite a long time, and we have talked several times about an AI application we have been using in the Bundesrat for 1.5 years now. It's an AI-based vote counting assistance, which we would like to present to today's participants of the workshop of the conference this afternoon. And I'd like to share our screen with you. It will work. So there it is.
Can you see the slides?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So we're talking about an AI-based vote counting assistance. And before going into the technical details, how it works, I'd like to give you some basic information about the structure and composition of the German Bundesrat, because this is necessary to understand the specifics of our vote counting tool we have. This is the German Bundesrat. The German Bundesrat is the second legislative organ alongside the German Bundestag. And the tasks and functions and the legal basis is laid down in the German Basic Law, the German Constitution, which says that the Länder, which is the federal states, participate through the Bundesrat in the legislation and administration of the federation and in matters concerning the European Union. So that is the basic or the legal basis. So to understand the Bundesrat system, who are the members of the German Bundesrat? The members of the German Bundesrat are the 16 German Länder or 16 federal states. You see here in alphabetical order on the left side of the slide. And the members of the Bundesrat are members of the federal state governments. This means it's a unique structure because members of the executive are on the federal state level, are members of the legislative on the federal level. So every state has a certain certain number of votes. It's 3, 4, 5, 6 votes, and this depends on the number of inhabitants for each federal state. These votes in the Bundesrat must be cast en bloc. That is to say, there are no split votes possible. So one vote caster casts all the votes for each federal state. So there are 16 vote casters in the plenary hall. And now let's take a look at the plenary hall, which looks like this. You see the federal states in alphabetical order in the hemicycle. And the central provision of our rules of procedure is that a vote is done by show of hands, as you see it here. And there are some specialities because the voting question is put in the affirmative. The speaker asks all those in favor, please show your hands. As I said, the votes must be cast en bloc. There are no individual votes, and the votes are cast by a vote caster. And until 2022, that's 2 years ago, the counting of votes cast was done by the president, assisted by the secretary general. And this was very time consuming because when the hands were raised, like you see it here, they had to count 3, 6, 10, 14, and so on, which took quite some time. And sometimes we have some 200, 250 votes in one plenary meeting, so this takes some time. And then we realized we have to do something, and we would like to introduce a vote counting system, a vote counting tool. And the question was how to do it, how to organize it, which system to choose. And it was clear that this vote counting assistance tool should fulfill some requirements. First one, it should not require amendment to the rules of procedure, because the ones of you who work for parliaments know how difficult, how tricky it can be to amend rules of procedure which have been practiced for years. The system should have a high recognition rate. It should be permanently operational ready. and it should provide multiple end devices that display the results simultaneously. There should be a low latency of display of the voting results. And last but not least, a low profile integration of the system into the plenary hall. These were the requirements, the preconditions. And I would now like to pass the floor to my colleague Benjamin, who will introduce you to the technical details of our vote counting assistant tool.
Thank you, Klaus. So now for the technical details and for the vote count assist. So as already stated, the system is based on cameras and on visual identification and recognition detection of the individual members of the parliament. So the initial development phase took around 3 months and is initially based on tiny industrial cameras. And I give you like 3 seconds to find in the upper image the stated cameras. So here they are. And for example, the left one, the view of the left one is shown below, so that each camera spans multiple states, multiple seats in the whole plenary hall. So for a top view, you can see again the horseshoe of our plenary hall with the 16 states, and around are built the 16 cameras of this vote count assistant. And the question comes up, why do we need so many cameras? And the answer is as follows. Imagine a larger person sitting in front of a smaller person, and the smaller person raises his or her hand and is completely covered by the person in front of him or her. And so you already need more than one camera to securely detect and identify all raising hands in our plenary hall. So, and that's why we constructed the system with so many, exactly 16 cameras. All right. So for the core of our system, we used post-estimation algorithm, as can be seen in this image. So post-estimation shortly takes a 2D image and computes in one shot on the whole image the possibility of persons, and detects the person in several key points, as can be seen here in this picture. For example, key points are mapped to the body, for example, the elbow or the shoulders. Each of them represents one key point. And on basis of these key points, in a subsequent step, the actual raising of a hand is computed via some algorithm, for short. So applied on the plenary hall, you can see one of my colleagues raising his hand, and the same picture applied or resulting after the post-estimation algorithm looks like this. For example, where the upper legs can't be really seen or aren't visibly completely, they are actually estimated by this algorithm. So in terms of the strength of such post algorithm. Yeah. So for the backbone, we used 2 desktop PCs with each of them consisting of 2 high-end graphic cards, and these redundant setup gets us some security in case one of the PC is crashes. So then the other PC can take over with half of the performance, but can keep up the whole vote count assist in the plenary hall. Yes, so and the result is then broadcasted via Wi-Fi into the hall and to the already mentioned end devices. And in our case, these are commercially available standard notebooks. And as you can see, they are they display the horseshoe, and if the system detects one or more arm raises, then the display shows the states in green, yeah, for detected arm raise. Yes, and for an overview of the whole system, so beginning in the top left, you can see the mentioned industrial cameras connected to our backbone PCs, where the algorithm computes and detects and computes the arm raises, and then in the middle, the result is broadcasted to the end devices, and we also set up a monitoring system to follow the procedure during our plenary sessions. All right, and that would be the end of our presentation. Thank you for your attention. And are there any questions?